come up with that dog shit pick. What the fuck were we thinking? What the fuck were you thinking?
Oh, baby. It's the Jimnasium. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode. It's the Jimnasium. I'm XFL Jim. That is Chase, the Wolf of Oaklawn. Lupine Fiasco, Sesums, a.k.a. Did the Gades dump the aid?
The Gades dumped the aid, baby. I'm calling our shot.
Mean?
That means the Renegades dumped the Gatorade.
I like that.
Yeah. I toyed with the spelling of aid there a couple times, and I even left the S off of it at the end, just so that there wasn't any confusion.
Gades dumped the Gator. No one says Gatorades.
Yeah, well, that's true. But to make it rhyme
Gatorade
with
is like
Gades.
deer. It just works as a plural.
Okay. Yeah, whatever. Sure. Still, I'm just being conscious. I'm just trying to not get us, trying to not do anything controversial, anything that would stir up any sort of, weird sexual feelings.
Hey, we'll get to that, Chase. We'll get to that. But right now, we'll get to what Jenna's talking about in the chat. The Renegades are the South Division champions of the XFL. The playoffs are over. We're on to the championship game.
Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up for the Gades.
Good job, Renegades. You are 5-6 going into a championship game, and I find that hilarious.
That is kind of funny. It's gonna be even funny when they win it.
Your 6-6 champion, the Arlington Renegades.
Yeah, just put it down. It's happening, man.
I feel like this was a culmination of things where, obviously, since getting Luis Perez, the Renegades have had a very consistent to good to decent offense. This was his best game by far as a Renegade. Meeting with Houston just being on a downturn where none of their quarterbacks have been working out. Silvers was not good. Cole McDonald wasn't getting it done, to my dismay. And it's just the Houston Roughnecks have just been kind of falling apart. Frozo, no, YouTube has not removed my video. They won't.
Right. No, you want to talk about a team who started hot and finished cold, and a team that started cold and finished hot. That was the story of the South, and that was the story of the Renegades. They look like they made the just in the 11th hour the perfect personnel move at quarterback, because Luis Perez is fitting like a glove in that offense. And I mean, he's taking what was a pretty prominent defense for most of the season, and he made them look bad. He made them look real bad in their game. So, I mean, they're riding on a real high. I don't think that this was their championship game. I think they were pretty convinced going into it that they were going to win and play for a championship in a couple weeks.
I think they're live for it, and I think Houston walks away from the season needing a quarterback.
Really bad.
Different quarterback.
Yeah. You could completely just change over that quarterback room with a couple of new quarterbacks and just try your luck again, because you don't have the guys right now.
Yeah, that's maybe a couple guys on offensive line, maybe some D-backs, but really just a quarterback change, and this team is probably coasting to the championship.
Yeah, and given John Trey Kirkland's injury, you don't really expect him to necessarily move on to another camp. Hopefully he's back and healthy for next year, and if they retain him, then I think that's a huge step forward for the next season, because they were so good. They were excellent with whenever John Trey Franklin was on the field, or Kirkland was on the field.
John Trey Frank
Kirkland, yeah. Kirk Franklin, the gospel star, is what I think of and mistake him for every single time. Yeah.
Jenna's saying Luis Perez will be the face of the XFL.
I don't know if he got the butt for it, though.
He's got the butt for it.
He's got that big, sweet bowler's peach.
So if you're picking just a quarterback, I think Luis Perez is the face of just spring football as
an ambassador,
just in general spring football, because he's done it all.
Yeah, if you were to make spring football day a holiday, he would be he would be that character. He's would be
Krampus in that.
Yeah, he would be the spring football day Krampus.
I think if the XFL in 2023 is looking for like the face, so like 2020 you had like I think definitively the face was PJ Walker.
Yeah.
If you're looking for 2023, I think the face, I know they didn't make the championship game. I think it's McCarron.
I think you're probably right, honestly. Family man, married to former Miss Alabama.
And the fact that like he chose to do the league when he probably could have gotten a backup position somewhere. Like
Right.
you feel like someone like DiNucci maybe could have gotten a backup and he just wanted to like really show himself.
Right.
McCarron wants to be in the XFL.
Yeah,
DiNucci
he does.
He could be the bad boy though. He could be the bad boy Italian underground guy.
Yeah, I think. See, the thing is, I think DiNucci goes to a camp, and I just don't think he lasts. Like, I think he ends up with another practice squad thing, and then is back in the XFL again next year.
He just has. I love DiNucci to death. I love the guy, and we could just go right into that game where the Sea Dragons got fucking embarrassed by the DC Defenders. I love him to death. Man, he
was
confidence
terrible.
is not an issue with him.
Confidence was not an issue with him, and that's a dangerous thing when you're terrible at something.
You say terrible, but you know this is like, okay. I'm looking right now. I'm trying to look throughout their season. He didn't throw a single interception this game.
True, he could have thrown 5.
He could have thrown a lot.
He could have thrown just a ton of interceptions, and also, just. I guess between the regular season and the postseason, decided to completely change his throwing motion to the weird sidearm that he would kind of throw sometimes when it made sense.
What I think happened is he watched like a Patrick Mahomes compilation. I was just like, you know what? This guy's the best quarterback in the NFL. If I want to be the best quarterback in the XFL, I got to do this.
Yes. Like, he did throw the offhand, like, flip pass and everything in the first game. You're right.
And that was sick.
And it was sick. It was good. But, like, dude,
you can't do it. There's some you notice Patrick Mahomes doesn't throw sidearm every throw.
Yeah. That sidearm thing drove me.
If you do it every
bananas.
time, it's not special.
Dude, it was ugly, and it just wasn't. He wasn't completing passes when he was doing it. He complete like 1 out of every like 5.
He went 31 for 48 attempts.
God.
Actually, that's not terrible.
It's not terrible. It's just that defense.
I think it felt like every time we were watching,
yeah,
he was just throwing it sidearm, and it was so frustrating.
And
I was pretty drunk too.
Yeah. Also, the Sea Dragons got jobbed a little bit with some calls. Like, I still don't understand Blandino's reasoning for the whole incomplete versus catch fumble that should have been.
That was bullshit.
That there were a couple things that felt like they could have turned that game a little bit that were out of the Sea Dragons' control. But I mean, at the end of the day, well, I mean, can we really say that the worst team won? No.
DC Defenders have been consistently the best team.
They've been very good.
They haven't looked like the top team all the time, but they've consistently been the best team for most of the year.
Right. For sure, man. Like they've been good. Dr. Heat's defense has been excellent, and like the offense has been like better than just good enough. You know, like they've done exactly what they've needed to win. They've been able to win games on their offense. They've been able to win games on their defense. They definitely go in. I don't know. Like I think they face another really complete team now in the Renegades. It used to be but with the Renegades and their offense and quarterback situation. Well, they've got the butt now, so it's a pretty even matchup.
I like how you worked that in there.
Yeah, they got that butt now. Yeah.
I am also intrigued for the status of Abram Smith. He looked like he got banged up this game.
Yeah. Also, you got a Jordan Tama who looks like he injured his throwing hand on a late hit
it looked like his pinky might be a little hurt. So
by that one raging bull crazed bastard in the XFL game for the Sea Dragons that got the penalty, then kicks the flag for 30 yards of personal fouls on one play.
The penalties from the Sea Dragons were just stupid.
Yeah, just completely lost their cool. Like, there was no chill to that defense. They were super frustrated, and they showed it and just fell apart.
Because they had
Didn't
a
deserve to
chance
win
at
the
end
game.
of this game.
They had a chance, but they didn't deserve to win. They after playing like that with that little discipline, they did not deserve to win.
Uncle Rico in the chat. Sea Dragons were peak 90s Lions. And Eric, the video is released. Just check it out. Well, you want to just talk about it? I feel like it's hanging in the air.
Okay.
We'll talk about the video, and then we'll talk a little USFL, and then I'll tell you, the lines are already out for the XFL Championship game in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's in the air. USFL Jim decided to go a little wild, had some fun, made a little tribute video to the best mascot in sports, Blob, the Philadelphia Stars mascot.
Yeah.
Chase has been getting fed little crumbs and previews throughout for like the last week and a half.
I have.
And the video's finally out.
It is out. It's amazing. It's amazing, Jim. I love it.
I'm going ahead and saying it's the weirdest video I've put on my channel.
I will agree. There's some really like, only super inside baseball things with it that give me delight. The fact that like I know that you have met Blob in a sea of children. So he 100 you have the same facial hair. You have the same facial hair. You have the same like you 100%.
So when I met Blob, when I went for the USFL Championship game, that's when I first started doing the mustache.
Yeah. So like he 100% like people with mustaches stick out. He 100% recognizes you, and like I don't know, seeing you perform, just rough fellatio on Blob was.
It was an experience.
I mean, it wasn't a complete turn off, if we're being honest.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
I was looking to confuse and arouse.
You've done it. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, God. We'll see. I've said it before in private with people. I'm thinking 2023 is the year that I just go full weird.
Just you have your own place. There's no one there to say, "Hey, Jim, that's a little too weird."
Yeah, I'm just gonna get really weird with it.
Just, dude, why wouldn't you at this point?
And these shows, the Jimnasium Spring Fever, they're gonna be the bedrock of just normalcy.
Yeah.
And every just video and a couple streams, I'm sure, are gonna be just weird. That's gonna be the perfect way to describe them.
Jim, with the Lakers up 1, or sorry, with the Celtics up 1, someone just passed the ball just like to the other team, to the 76ers, to give them a 1-point lead with like 20 seconds left.
Chase, how does this make you feel?
Awful.
Irate.
Could
you say irate?
Yeah, irate. Okay.
But what do we think of the championship game between the Renegades and the Defenders?
I think it's a super close game. I think it's a super close game the entire way around. I mean, I'm already locked in on the Renegades 14-1.
Guess the line, Chase.
Oh, I said DC 6.5 last night.
Close. It's 6.
So yeah, that's exactly what it is. I don't know. I think maybe you take. I think it's a closer game than that. I think it's Arlington in the points because you don't have. This isn't at DC. Like if anything,
it's in San Antonio.
If anything, the Renegades have the quote unquote home field advantage because I mean, as great as the XFL is right now, I'm not sure how many people really travel quite yet.
Okay, so this is just anecdotal, and me being me, I get like DMs out the ass of people saying they're going to the game.
Okay, but
this is just all anecdotal, and people like these are Twitter people that I've known for a while that are big spring football people.
If you fill up that stadium, I think you're going to have a lot. I think you're going to have a lot of hometown people who say that they are fans of the Renegades for Texas purposes.
Yeah, I would say. I mean. You'll probably get a lot of people that will go to like Brahma's games that would go to this game as a neutral party.
Right.
If it's a full stadium, I would say at best for DC, it's 50-50.
At best. I think it's probably 70-30.
Probably. Which we've seen DC, the non-home field advantage, Jenna, we're kind of getting on this train too. We hope the Renegades win it all. If the Renegades do win it all,
We're paid.
we're paid, and also it's history. Their offensive line coach would be a double XFL winner.
Ooh, nice.
Played for the LA. What was it? The LA Extreme.
Yeah.
Back in 2001 as an offensive lineman when they won it.
Like I don't know. I think this is going to be a hell of a football game. I think it's going to be chippy. I think you got two defenses with a lot of pride, a lot of heart that aren't going to want to be scored on. And I think if it gets down to it, like it's going to. I mean, you might see a couple fights in this game.
DC's playing. You're going to see fights.
You're going to see fights.
Eric is asking who's the dark horse for MVP. Hey, books out there. Let us bet some MVP odds, please. I beg of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I beg of you.
MVP, I think if it's a regular season award, DiNucci or McCarron?
It'll be a regular season award, and I'll probably give it to DiNucci. He has the stats.
Yeah.
If we just go by stat leaders real quick, player stats. DiNucci by like 500 yards has the passing yards. If we go touchdowns, though, I think AJ's number one, with 24 to 6. AJ has 24 touchdowns to 6 INTs. Ben DiNucci has 20 touchdowns to 13 INTs.
Yeah, I think you go to McCarron.
Yeah, I think you probably go to him. Dude, for how little he's played, Dormany already has he's 5th.
Yeah, it's crazy. He threw for just
1,500 yards in 7 games.
A metric fuck ton of yards is what the Canadians call it, I think.
Jesus Christ. I mean, Perez only played in 8 games and threw for 1,600. McClendon's also big up there. He threw for 870 yards in 4 games.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, the Devils are up 2-0. Jesus Christ.
Ooh, baby. Let's talk a little USFL. Week 3 happened. Right. Breakers Stallions. Breakers dominate. Win 45-31.
Yeah.
The only undefeated team left. We're already this early into the season. There's no undefeated teams except for the Breakers. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, they looked extremely good. They looked really, really friggin' good. The entire way. I decided the week before that I was done trying to beat the Stallions, and so even at 6.5, I was like, all right, I have to do this. Oh my God, yeah, you got so much to think about. I'm happy that I've got a Breakers future sitting out there.
I wonder if those have changed at all.
But they have a lot. I got to think they're the favorite now.
Nope. Still 550 is what I'm seeing.
Hit it again. Yeah.
I mean, just Jesus Christ. The run game for the Breakers is insane, and this is the D-line from week 1.
Yeah, they finally matched back up to it, and I mean, it was a shootout for a while, it was a shootout, but like they had their neck pretty well stepped on there for a little bit.
Remind me, Chase, was it last year we talked about odd week Breakers? Or was that a different team? Was that a college team?
I think that might have been a college team. Or was that the Saints with good Jameis, bad Jameis?
Well, it definitely was the Saints with good Jameis, bad Jameis. But I felt like there was a team in one of these, like the USFL, where it was like the odd week. The Breakers just won. And they made it look easy.
I think you're right. Yeah.
It was either that or it was when they play on Sundays for Sloter Sundays.
That's right. It was something along those lines.
Bethel Thompson, I think, is the best quarterback in the league, by the way.
I think so. He's also, if he's got to stay healthy, he's going to get himself hurt, dude.
That offensive line needs to help him, dude.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Jenna's so high on her Renegades, doesn't care if the Showboats haven't won. Showboats are terrible.
The Shodies.
Talk about that. The Shodies versus the Shody Gamby Bowl.
The Shody Gamby Bowl.
Showboats lose at 26-30. I'm surprised they even were almost able to come back in this game.
Oh my God. The last touchdown was a travesty, and you do not deserve to win football games if you get scored on in that. They clutch defeat from the jaws of victory.
Also, there was like chippiness between Todd Haley and
Yeah,
the Gamblers staff. Apparently, he was alluding that the Gamblers like had people observing their practice or something.
Jesus Christ. Whatever.
Uh,
Was whatever.
I'm just gonna reiterate the tweet that I had that Todd Haley's a bitch,
Yeah, that is all.
and I don't think he should be coaching.
Hide your shit better.
I fucking hate Todd Haley. Kelly. I mean, he had 307 yards. The showboat seems just fucking weird.
And then he was pulled over for being high on PCP at 7 a.m. the next morning.
Happens.
Yeah, it is kind of cool seeing Cole Kelly actually getting out there. I remember him as a Razorback.
I like it.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that I like and hate, Maulers 21, Stars 13. Talk about bad offensive line play. Jesus Christ, Stars.
Yeah, Case Cookus he's a dog, so he's going to go out there until he dies on the field, and that's going to be what happens. That's going to be what happens if they don't get a better offensive line. How about this Maulers defense? Just completely shut this team down. Like, Boogie's a handful in the middle of that defensive line. Like, they're starting to put it together, and now they've got a quarterback. Like, I think they've needed a quarterback who can run for his life this entire time. So now that they've got this Swift fellow there that can just break the pocket and go for 15 and just keep converting on drives, like, the touchdowns will eventually show up. They're not a bad team.
Oh, they got their first offensive touchdown of the season this game.
Yeah, they'll get more. I think they'll score more than the one.
There'll be a few. Yeah. When Case Cook is like, it felt like they were getting desperate, and then it was just getting sloppy. And the Stars, as bad as their O-line is, they also just don't have a semblance of a run game.
Yeah, they just seem to need to maybe like wake up a little bit. I think they might be sniffing themselves a little bit and just
maybe,
kind of sleepwalking. And
the thing is, though, I feel like they're not going to be the team to stress. I feel like Bart Andrews doesn't have a stressed out bone in his body.
No, he's uber chill. I've never seen his facial expression change. That should be our new prop bet. Is instead of Bob Stoops, how many times he actually says words during the game is how many times Bart Andrews' face moves.
Yes. Capped off for the USFL, we had the Generals Panthers. Generals win it 28-13. I don't know, dude. The Generals look good. I don't know. Man.
I had a sneaking suspicion that the Generals just weren't a bad team, so this kind of checked out. I honestly felt like the number was too big here, and I wish I had realized what time this game kicked off so I could have taken advantage of that, because I couldn't put the Panthers at that big of a favorite. Like, that should have been like a field goal game, but dude, New Jersey handled business.
What happened to the Panthers offense?
It's crazy. I literally have no idea who's going to win the South. I think all four teams are still in it, quite honestly.
North?
Yeah, the North.
The South, I feel like the Showboats are probably out of it. Yeah. And then I think it's probably a 2-horse race for I don't trust
who gets the first.
Either. I think it's the Breakers style.
Yeah.
The North at this point, it's anyone's game.
Did you see that the USFL has trademarked a few things? One of them being the Boston Breakers, and so that could maybe allude to like a future team move. And I'm not sure if I'm down if they take
move
the team
back
from
to
NOLA.
Boston?
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
I mean, it's a football hungry part of the country because the Patriots, and then you have, there's all sorts of tiny little stadiums you can play in Boston.
I don't like it.
It's like you get a region, an entire region of the country when you get Boston. It's not just the city. Yeah,
but you got New Orleans. You got like part of the South.
Yeah, no, I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
So the trademarks were Austin Wranglers, Baltimore Stars, Boston Breakers, Dallas Stallions, Denver Gold, LA Express, Oklahoma Outlaws, Portland Breakers, San Antonio Guns. So it's just a bunch of their old names.
Yeah.
Oh, you know which one I'd love to come back is the Denver Gold.
That would be pretty good.
I'd love a spring football team in Denver.
That would be nice. That would probably be the closest one to you, wouldn't it?
That would be hands down. Logan Graffia just got the phone with USFL League official. Yep, it's just them acquiring the OG names,
All right.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the Portland Breakers? No one would go to those games.
I don't know, dude. Like you can make it super hip. You can make it super hip.
No one would fucking go to those games, Chase.
You know what's attended really well is their Ultimate Frisbee games.
They love like their off-brand sports in the Northwest.
Yeah, and clown colleges.
Largest spread of the USFL for Week 4. So we have the Houston Gamblers, Stars, Showboats, Panthers, Breakers, Generals, Stallions, Maulers.
Stallions, Maulers easily.
It is that. It is a 7-point spread.
It's gonna be a close week then.
Yeah, that's and then Panthers Shodies is 6.5.
That sounds about right. I'm all on the Panthers there.
Yeah, probably same. Those other ones are tough. Breakers Generals could be the game of the week.
Breakers Generals will be a really good football game.
It's a 3-point spread.
I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of this week we don't have a single undefeated team. Yeah,
It would not surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me. I love my Breakers, but all these teams are good. All of these teams are pretty good, except for hey, even the Maulers just got a dub over a team we thought was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, every team I feel like is at least pretty good. I feel like just the general floor of the USFL has risen.
It's true.
Drastically from last year.
It's true. It's true. It's a truthitude.
You want to go through the draft a little bit?
Let's hit it.
Okay. You want to go? I'm on the NFL site. You want to hear their grades for the team? Just go team by team real quick.
Yeah.
Cardinals, they give an A. Cardinals got Paris Johnson from Ohio State.
Yeah.
B.J. Olari, Garrett Williams, Michael Wilson, John Gaines second, Clayton Toon, Owen Papoy, Kytrell Cart. Jesus, sorry. I'm sorry, dude. Dante Stills. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that again.
Okay. I mean, they landed like a what everyone calls like a 10 years in the league kind of offensive tackle. I think it's anytime you do that, that's a good draft. Yeah,
pick. I feel like you can't go wrong drafting a tackle.
I can only think of like a couple of like draft busts at like tackle. And Robert Gallery is the only one I can think of.
But I can't even fault teams for drafting them.
No, just because humans that big, long, and agile, just there aren't many of them. Like it's like being 7 feet and going to the NBA. Like if you're over 7, like I saw this somewhere. Like the odds of someone in the average population of going to the NBA is like so absolutely tiny. But as soon as you like turn like 7 feet, it's like 1 in 5. It's like you got a 20% shot of going into the association. So that's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of how I feel about offensive tackles.
I just feel like I can't ever judge a team harshly for taking an offensive tackle or a defensive like edge rusher in the early rounds.
I mean, it's the way that the game is played now. It's all passing, and so therefore it's all pass rush and protection. So yeah, I think taking these sort of freak human beings you can't go wrong with.
Falcons, they gave it A-. They took Bijan Robinson, Matthew Bergeron, Zach Harrison, Clark Phillips III, DeMarco Helms, and Jovan Gwynn. I just don't know why you draft Bijan Robinson. Your running game was already good.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was available on the board for them right then.
At 8 overall?
Yeah, like no, there was a lot. You could have gotten like the run on wide receivers didn't start until like the 20th pick. So like you why don't you get something to help out with Kyle Pitts and get
another receiver,
Desmond Ridder,
get a tackle,
defense. Yeah. So I give it a D. Why not?
Blah. Ravens, they gave an A. They got Zay Flowers. I love the Zay Flowers get. Trent Simpson, Travius Robinson, Q Blue Kelly, and then Malasala, Amave Lalu, and Andrew Voorhees. I mean, Zay Flowers is amazing. That's an amazing get. He was
as soon as they said that they were re-signing Lamar, I went and dropped a future on them to take a wide receiver at plus 220.
Great move.
I love it, and I love how aggressive they are with, I was like, all right, they got OBJ, they got to have somebody else outside of OBJ.
So now they have Zay Flowers is fast as fuck. So they got the speedster, they got the great route runner in OBJ, and then they have the big guy in Jesus Christ, why am I blanking on the name? The Minnesota receiver, Rashad Bateman.
Yeah.
Bills, they give an A. The Bills took Dalton Kincaid from Utah, stud. Osiris Torrance, Dorian Williams, Justin Shorter, Nick Broker, and Alex Austin. Kincaid's great. I don't know why you sign Dawson Knox to like a new contract if you're going to go out and get someone like Kincaid in your first round pick. But
yeah, it's like they forgot to tell him that the plan was off because they signed Dawson Knox. Like someone did talk to someone else and they're like, "Oh, you got that guy?" Because no, we just signed this guy. No, that's kind of how I imagined it going. Yeah, I don't like it just because it's a head scratcher. Like, what are you going? Are you going to run 2 tight end sets and you're going to try to do more Lamar stuff with Josh Allen? Maybe. What are you going to do?
But Dalton Kincaid's not a blocking tight end.
Yeah, and you have so many wide receiver weapons.
Yeah, I don't know what he really fully adds.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a stud. I love him as a prospect, but I don't know what he adds to this team.
I agree completely.
Panthers, obviously Bryce Young, Jonathan Mingo, DJ Johnson, Chandler Zavala, and Jamie Robinson.
The funniest part of this was the pre-draft graphic when they were showing Frank Wright and his quarterback connections, like all the all the great quarterbacks that he's worked with, and they put up Nick Foles, but they don't put up Carson Wentz, even though he won an MVP.
That should be the biggest selling point for Frank Wright, because he got Carson Wentz an MVP.
Who is a bona fide baby back bitch.
Has anyone had a further fall from grace?
No. He's
not
just,
recently.
I'm a redhead
Deshaun,
who loves
Deshaun
Jesus.
Watson.
I got 2 good knees and I can throw the ball okay, and then that all went out the window.
I wonder how Bryce Young's gonna do. I'm hopeful.
I kind of think in today's NFL he'll be fine, but I have all sorts of injury concerns.
Yeah, that'd be the worry.
He's like Tua. He got banged up in college. He hurt his shoulder. I mean, he got back. It wasn't near as bad as what Tua had. Tua had a fucking dislocated hip and broke his nose on that play. Yeah. And I think that I think they'll be fine. I honestly,
with how they protect the quarterback in the NFL, I feel like it's harder. Like, you could be rougher on a quarterback in college nowadays.
I think you're probably right. So yeah, I think they'll be fine. Like I could see dropping a future on them. Honestly, I wouldn't mind dropping a future on them in the NFC South if the odds are fair, given that Bryce Young is a prospect technically and not a player yet.
I might look. Let me look real quick if you can get if the odds are better. I don't know. Some people do this. Let me see. The Panthers to make the playoffs plus 140. If you want the NFC South plus 300, I'd rather just go 3-1 because I don't think they're making the playoffs if they don't win the division.
No, I don't think that division's good enough to get 2 in.
Yeah, I think whoever's winning the division's getting in, and that's it.
I mean, it's 100% possible you can get 3 out of the East again.
Yes. Yeah, it is. Chicago Bears. Darnell White, Gervon. They gave him Chicago Bears an A-. Gervon Dexter, Tyreek Stevenson, Zach Pickens, Rashawn Johnson, Tyler Scott, Noah Sewell, Terrell Smith, Travis Bell, Kendall Williamson. The Bears had so many fucking picks.
Yeah, and I think that they did so much during the offseason with getting offensive talent to put around Justin Fields that they just had to have a big guy draft. Like, they just needed to stock up on as many gigantic human beings as they possibly could.
And getting Darnell Wright, I think, is a big move. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Make sure Justin Fields doesn't just die every play.
Agreed.
Bungles, they gave an A-. Miles Murphy from Clemson. I love that pick. DJ Turner II, Jordan Battle. Also love that pick. Charlie Jones, Chase Brown, Andre Ivose, Brad Robbins, and DJ Ivy.
Dude, I'm not even going to question the Bengals and how they draft. They've knocked it out of the park. the last few years. Like they've handled their shit. So
Yes, I think this is just a good draft.
Yeah.
I think Miles Murphy's going to be really good. It's hard for me to not be, even though they've been a little bit down these past couple of years, just seeing like Edge Clemson.
Yeah, it's usually a good thing.
Good.
Yeah. He's still got a little bit of the Brent Venables on him too.
Browns, they give a B. Browns took Cedric Tillman, Siaka Ika, DeJuan Jones, Isaiah McGuire, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Cameron Mitchell, and Luke Weipler. Fuck you.
I think we said it before we get on. It's going to be hilarious when DTR is starting and they're paying Deshaun Watson $230 million guaranteed.
It's so funny.
It's going to be hilarious.
I think Tillman could be good. It's so people are always like iffy about taking the quarterbacks and receivers from these kinds of offenses that Heupel loves to do.
Sure.
But I mean, Cedric Tillman was so good.
Right. I agree.
Cowboys, they gave a B+. They took Mazi Smith, Luke Schoonmaker, DeMarvian. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry, dude. DeMarvian Overshone, Valami Fihoko Jr., Austin Richards, Eric Scott Jr., Deuce Vaughn, Jalen Brooks. I just want to say, fuck the Cowboys, but the clip that was going around of
Deuce Vaughn's dad calling him?
That was beautiful.
That was beautiful. I mean, I'm not sure what they really needed, so I think it was an okay draft. Just they also seem to know what they're doing whenever they reach for things, you know.
Yeah, I don't mind the draft. Broncos, they give a B. They took Marvin Mims Jr., Drew Sanders, Riley Moss, J.L. Skinner, and Alex Forsyth.
They took Drew Sanders. It's an A+.
I'll give it to you. Now, so you're going to put your Broncos futures in?
Yes, this is the year. I think this is the time that the Broncos actually turn it. Like now, I'm ready to say the Broncos will make the playoffs.
Saying now that they got rid of the worst coach of the NFL?
Yes.
And traded him for Sean Payton?
Exactly.
Yeah. Lions, they gave a C+. Lions took Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch, Hendon Hooker, Broderick Martin, Colby Sortsall, Antoine Green. I don't know why you take Jahmyr Gibbs.
I don't know either. But they've completely swapped out their running back room with a better running back room. With David Montgomery now and Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean,
I get that.
There's I don't know. I think they're the two philosophies of, do you take the best player available on the board, or do you take the best player that fits what you need? And I think this was more of a, let's take maybe the best player on the board at this point. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs is really good. He's more like an Alvin Kamara.
Phenomenal. I just don't like. I feel like, didn't the Lions trade up for this?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. Like, I think he would have been there.
I feel like he would have been there.
Yeah, it feels very Matt Millen to take now they're going to start doing what they did to wide receivers with running backs.
I don't know. I do like getting Sam Laporta. That's just, I mean, Iowa tight ends. Iowa tight ends, people.
Bingo.
Especially now that TJ Hawkinson's not there. Packers, they gave an A-. They took Lucas Van Ness, Luke Musgrave, Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft, Colby Wooden, Sean Clifford, Dontavian Wicks, Carl Brooks, Anders Carlson, Carrington Valentine, Lou Nichols III, Anthony Johnson Jr., and Grant Dubose.
Okay. Good draft, I guess. It's a very Packers draft.
Yeah, it's a very Packers draft. So, like, Lucas Van Ness was awesome in Iowa. He was a great edge rusher. And, like, Iowa linemen are usually really good, but also he does play in the Big Ten West.
Fair.
The quarterbacks you play against and the offenses you play against in the Big Ten West are not going to be anything impressive. Like, to be fair, you do go up against pretty good offensive linemen.
True. Yeah, completely true.
But, like, the quarterbacks and the offensive systems you're playing against are nothing to really... Like, Illinois almost won the division.
Enough said.
Like, we almost got birded.
The birding almost happened.
Did Iowa get birded?
Iowa did get birded, I think.
I'm pretty sure they did. Illinois. Let me see.
Oh my God! Someone just got destroyed in the hockey game. Oh my God!
They did get burned. Do you remember the score of the Illinois-Iowa game from last year?
Yeah. Jim, if you can get to a replay of the Rangers and Devils here, this dude just got his clock cleaned.
God damn it. I'm not going to be able to.
Okay. I'm talking like cartoon birds. Like that kind of knocked out.
I'm going to watch the replay.
All right.
Over under points scored in the Iowa-Illinois game of last year. I just looked this up.
12.
Damn, you went a little too low. It was 15 total points. Illinois won it 9-6.
Yeah, I Price is Righted that thing.
God damn. Okay, Packers, whatever. Texans, Ohio State, they get C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson, Juice Scruggs, Tank Dell, Dylan Horton, Henry To'o, Jarrett Patterson, Xavier Hutchinson, and Brandon Hill. I think it's a good draft from the Texans.
Yeah, I actually loved their draft. Like, I loved that there were two guys. There were only two guys they could have possibly taken with the number 2 pick, and they didn't get one, so they traded up to 3 and got the other. And Will Anderson or D'Amico Ryans, who also played for Nick Saban.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just anyone named Juice.
Anyone named Juice. Those are Juices are fast. Also,
I also like Xavier Hutchinson as a late round pick. I think he could turn into something from. I liked him at Iowa State.
Yeah,
you just never know. Colts: Anthony Richardson, Julius Brents, Josh Downs, Brake Freeland, Adetomiwa Adebawore, Darius Rush, Daniel Scott, Will Mallory, Evan Hull, Titus Leo, Jalen Jones, Jake Witt. I mean, who knows? They're starting Anthony Richardson, right? Like, he's starting.
Yeah, I've lost all faith in all the Colts, so I don't have much trust that Anthony Richardson's actually going to be good. He also has big Jamarcus Russell vibes.
He does.
He's like a skinny Jamarcus Russell. Hopefully he doesn't sip a bunch of scissor like Jamarcus did.
He might.
I remember when Jamarcus got busted for sipping lean. When he had just like jugs of lean in his car.
Oh, they're saying, okay, so the NFL's saying that Anthony Richardson will sit behind Gardner Minshew for a year.
Okay, that kind of gets me excited now about the Colts, but sorry.
But you run a totally different offense with those two quarterbacks.
True.
Jaguars: Anton Harrison, Brenton Strange, Tank Bigsby, Ventrell Miller, Tyler Lacey, Yasir Abdullah, Antonio Johnson, Parker Washington, Christian Boswell, Eric Hallett, Cooper Hodges, Raymond Voshik, and Derek Parrish. I think 88. I think Tank Bigsby is a good pickup. I think he's a good running back.
That's exactly what I was going to call out. I think, despite his obvious deficiencies, I think he's a good running back.
And
his obvious deficiencies being that he went to Auburn.
I mean, yes. I think the Jags did all right.
I think they did fine. It's the same thing. They've got a lot of things on offense now. They just had a couple of things that they needed to get, and it's not an exciting draft, but it's good for what they need.
Chiefs got Edge, Felix Nduiki, Uzama, Rashid Rice, Wayne Morris, Shamari Connor, B.J. Thompson, Keandre Coburn, and Nick Jones.
Rashid Rice is I think one of the best late round picks in the draft. He's good. He's really good. Like he was a lot to handle in the AAC.
Yeah, otherwise it's just pretty typical for Chiefs, Nothing flashy.
They draft well. They get what they need.
Raiders got Tyree Wilson, Michael Mayer, Byron Young, Trey Tucker, Jacorian Bennett, Aiden O'Connell, Chris Smith, Mari Burney, and Nesta Jade Silvera. I just want to say Nesta Jade Silvera is a sick name.
I think Michael Mayer was a steal, and I like the move that they traded up to get him.
Yep, that was a good tight end get from them. Tyree Wilson, I think, was a good get too. He was good at Texas Tech, and you're in the Big 12, but guess what? You're going up against some fucking awesome offenses in the Big 12.
He reminds me of Jamal Anderson from Arkansas. He was like a wide receiver or tight end when he came to campus, but he was like incredibly long, and they just put muscle on him. Like he seems like
jacked.
Yeah, he just seems like that kind of like huge, raw, like prototypical from a wingspan standpoint defensive end.
I like it. Chargers, Quentin Johnson, Tuli Dayan Henley, Darius Davis, Jordan McFadden, Scott Matlock, and Max Duggan. I mean, I don't know if you need another big body receiver like Quentin Johnston if you're the Chargers.
Yeah, it seems like you're just trying to draft Mike Williams again. Like it's like you're trying to get another Mike Williams. I'm not sure if he's necessarily the wide receiver I want to replace an aging Keenan Allen.
Like, I think he's like, don't get me wrong, I think Quentin Johnston's amazing.
Yeah.
He was awesome in college. I think he could be a really good pro. I just don't know if it's what, like, I would have rather, if I'm the Chargers, I would have rather had, like, Zay Flowers or trade up to get someone like him.
The knock I kept hearing of Quentin Johnson was he body catches too much. Like he doesn't use his hands. It's all like into the body.
Which is fair. We'll have to see. And I guess getting Max Duggan's fine. He's a dude. You're not gonna see me saying many bad things about Max Duggan.
It's true.
The Rams. Jesus Christ, they had a lot. Steve Avila, Brian Ryan, Kobe Turner, Stetson Bennett, Nick Hampton, Warren McClendon Jr., Davis Allen, Puka Nacua. Love that pick. Travius Hodges Tomlinson, O'Shawn Mathis, Zach Evans, Ethan Evans, Jason Taylor, and Dejuan Johnson. They got O'Shawn Mathis. Loved him at Nebraska. It's A+.
They had a million picks that were all just like late rounds, so it's really just like a cannon fodder kind of draft for them. Stetson Bennett. I mean, I don't know. I'm not even sure.
They really just need to hit
two
or three of these.
Yeah, Stetson Bennett is John Wolford 2.0, I guess.
Whoa. We do not insult the Wolford wagon here.
I mean, I just mentioned him in the same breath of with the quarterback that won back-to-back playoffs for the only time in the playoff era. So
that's fair. So what you're saying is they both might end up in the XFL in like 6 years?
Yeah, maybe.
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all. Dolphins, Cam Smith, Devon Achane, Elijah Higgins, and Ryan Hayes. Didn't have a first-round pick because fuck us, but you know what? We did all right.
Yeah. No, I think it was a good draft with very limited draft capital.
Yep. You can't really do much with that. The Vikings got Jordan Addison, Mekhi Blackman, Jay Ward, Jacqueline Roy, Jaron Hall, and Dwayne McBride. I think Jordan Addison's a good get. Something about USC wide receivers. They've had a good run of them for the last 4 years.
Yeah, I would like Drake London, and I agree. And they needed it. They needed it for the departing Adam Thielen, y'all.
Where's he going?
Did he go to Carolina?
I think so. Patriots, Christian Gonzalez, Keon White, Marte Mapu, Jake Andrews, Chad Ryland, Sidney Sow, Antonio Mafi. It's just a fucking Patriots draft.
Dude, who gives a shit about it? The most boring drafts. The most exciting draft pick they had the opportunity to give us in the Bill Belichick era was Mac Jones.
Yep. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't take a quarterback, but I guess they also have the Western Kentucky stud.
Zappy.
They got Zappy.
Zappy hour.
New Orleans Saints, they took Brian Brees, Isaiah Fosky, Kendra Miller, Nick Saldiveri, Jay Kaner, Jordan Howden, and A.T. Perry.
The only thing exciting about this to me is Jake Haener.
Dude.
And it's just because I love Jake Haener. I mean, they got good players, but they're in the same situation I've said a lot of teams are in, where they didn't really need the exciting guys, so they got the good meat and potato guys that are just going to be pros for a really long time, even though they might not necessarily be freaky. They give you what you need to fill a void.
I really hope A.T. Perry comes out because I loved him at Wake Forest.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved him. The Giants got Deontay Banks, John Michael Schmitz, Jalen Hyatt, Eric Gray, Trey Hawkins III, Jordan Riley, and Javarius Owens. I mean, they needed a bunch of this. So
yeah,
don't know why you go for Eric Gray, the running back pick, but whatever.
I think they did well not reaching after the run on wide receivers in the first round and holstering to get, I think, really good draft value with Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee.
Yep, I like that move. I think Deontay Banks could be a really good corner.
Yep.
The Jets went Will McDonald IV, Joe Tipman, Carter Warren, Israel Abenakanda, Zaire Barnes, Jarek Bernard Converse, and Zach Kuntz.
Considering they had the D-Roy and the O-Roy last year, like, are any of us in a position to question anything that the Jets drafted this year?
I don't think so. I also just feel like Zach Kuntz has been at ODU forever, and I might be wrong by that, but I just feel like I feel like I've seen that name.
One of those 30-year-old COVID rookies.
Eagles got Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Tyler Steen, Sidney Brown, Keely Ringo, Tanner McKee, and Moro Ojomo. Honestly, I can't fault the Eagles for just making their defense Georgia.
Dude, the shocking thing isn't that they did it.
It's the fact that teams let them do this.
The shocking fact is that 30 teams let them do it. That's crazy. How do they not know what they were doing? Like, okay, yeah, and now you have the 4 best players from arguably the best defense that's ever played college football. Get out of here. They won the draft. They won the draft.
The only hope for people that root against them is they hope Jalen Carter implodes.
That wouldn't be enough. It's not enough to
wouldn't.
keep them from winning. It doesn't matter. Like, hell, they got another first-round pick out of Georgia. Yeah, they're gonna be fine.
It's not a bad idea just to stock up with as many Georgia defensive players as possible.
No, I think that's a winning strategy from beginning to end.
You really can't blame them. Steelers got Broderick Jones, Joey Porter Jr., Keanu Benton, Darnell Washington, Nick Herbig, Coy Trice Jr., and Spencer Anderson.
I love the
Joey
draft.
Porter Jr. Joey Porter's fucking good.
Yeah, and I mean, you get like Steelers royal family with like I guess a kid who's going to get it, whose dad played for Mike Tomlin with Joey Porter Jr., who played at Penn State, who like this is the most Steeler ass pick, and like I love their draft. Like they absolutely had to have an offensive lineman, and they get Broderick Jones from Georgia. That's a good pick.
Good move. 49ers got Jair Brown, Jake Moody, Cameron Latu, Darrell Luter Jr., Robert Beal Jr., D. Winters, Braden Willis, Ronnie Bell, and Jalen Graham. Ronnie Bell's a good late-round pickup. He was a great receiver in the Big Ten.
Yeah, he was. No, I agree.
I do worry that he could be like a little undersized guy.
I feel like it doesn't look like a great draft, but also like I think that Kyle Shanahan's really
need though.
Outside of like a quarterback, which they might already have, like yeah, they don't really need much. And I feel like Kyle Shanahan is good at like putting the right pieces in the right places. So I think this will be one of those drafts that maybe you look back on in 5 years and you're like, damn, they did have a really good draft that year.
Seahawks, Devin Witherspoon, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Derek Hall, Zach Charbonnet, Anthony Bradford, Cam Young, Mike Morris, Olu Oluwami, Jarek Reed, Kenny McIntosh. I mean, I like the Jackson Smith and Jigba pick.
How many picks did they have? It was insane. Just the pillaging that they pillaged on the fucking Denver Broncos, dude. No, I think they had a really good draft, and they've drafted really good in the last couple of years as well.
I also like them getting Zach Charbonnet.
So do I. Zach Charbonnet's excellent.
Speaking of like running mad.
Yeah, him and K9, Kenneth Walker are going to be a hell of a tandem, I think.
And just pairing up Jackson Smith and Jigba with like DK
and Tyler Lockett. Yeah.
Yes. Watch the fuck out. The Bucks got Kalaje Cansey, Cody Mock, Yaya Diaby, Servokia Dennis, Payne Durham, Josh Hayes, Trey Palmer, and Jose Ramirez. Shout out Trey Palmer, one of the best receivers Nebraska's had in the past 10 years. I mean, I don't know what he's going to be in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Great draft.
Yaya Diaby's all-time.
Yeah.
All-time.
For sure.
Titans, Peter Skoronski, Will Levis, Tajai Spears, Josh Wiley, Jalen Duncan, and Colton Dowell. I mean, I love the Peter Skoronski pick. I just feel like Northwestern offensive linemen are pretty solid. Their O-line coach is so good.
They've got
about him forever.
They've got great offensive linemen on the roster, but the issue is that they're never healthy. So I think Peter Skoronski is a great pick. And then I think they did well with Will Levis. Well, I mean, Will Levis could have been a first round pick, probably. His last season at Kentucky was really bad. He's apparently too weird to overcome to spend a first round draft pick on, but I'll get behind them spending a second round draft pick because you have to have an answer for Ryan Tannehill, especially if Malik Willis isn't going to be the answer. Yeah.
I feel like they didn't reach for him.
No, I think you got great value on Will Levis in the second round, especially with as much steam as he had going into the draft.
What's up, Mr. Doodle? I don't know who that is, but what's up?
All right.
The Commanders: Emmanuel Forbes, Jartavius Martin, Ricky Stromberg, Brendan Daniels, KJ Henry, Chris Rodriguez, and Andre Jones Jr.
You can only assume that they did bad.
I mean, I think Emmanuel Forbes is a good pick. I thought he was pretty good, but other than that, yeah, you just have to assume they did bad.
Yep.
Just blanket bad.
Yeah.
And that's it. I think we're both highest on the Eagles.
Yeah.
Based on where they were and what they got out of it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to think that you won't see Eagles Chiefs part 2. Honestly, I don't buy into the Jets hype. I don't think that they're going to be there. I mean, they're great teams in the West, but they're going to just cannibalize each other. The North is wide open.
Do you want to go through futures real quick?
We'll save that for another time, maybe.
I like it. It's been a long show.
It has. Good stuff, though.
Good fucking stuff. Go watch some NHL playoffs. Go watch some NBA playoffs. And then take the week off from XFL. There's no XFL this weekend, dude.
Yeah, I know. We get to finally... It's going to be nice to actually finally focus on, one entire football game.
Yes. It's going to be very, very relaxing. Chase, what do you got going on in life right now?
Oh, it's the Kentucky Derby week. Check out my horse racing podcast, The Notorious OTB, brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And I'm going to be all over the place this week. I've got all sorts of things I'm doing.
All over doing Kentucky Derby stuff. Mr. Doodle, I do not condone the USFL versus XFL in the chat. Get that the fuck out of here! I disagree. I think they're both bait. They're both awesome. You guys know where to find me. XFL Jim everywhere. Check out my blob tribute. It's gonna be posted everywhere. So love you guys. We'll see you next time for some more gymnasium fun. Bye.